Do you hear voices in the night? Stupid question. We all do. Here's the real question. When you hear that scream in the alleyway, see that blood on the street corner, feel that bump in the night, do you hide under your covers and pray it goes away? Or do you grab a flashlight, a baseball bat, a gun, and go see what's lurking in those shadows no one talks about? If y'all are in the latter category, this show is for you. Coming to you live from a glorious undisclosed location, I'm 3Dog. Oh! And you're listening to Galaxy News Radio, bringing you the truth, no matter how bad it hurts. Today marks the first in a series giving you the lowdown on monster hunting scenes in selected towns I've stepped through. Oh, and for the record, CIA, NSA, Chiron Group, Halliburton, Blackwater, Last Dynasty International, I do randomize the order in which I present the towns I visited, so if y'all are trying to find me, you're going to have to work a little harder than connecting some dots. Just saying. Today we'll be talking about the monster hunter scene in Ewing, Nebraska, good old USA. But first, it's time for a super important public service announcement. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of periodic weapon maintenance. Wooden stake, shotgun full of silver, crucifix with nails jutting out of it, I don't care which. If your weapon breaks down, the only thing skulking around in the night it's gonna kill is you. So please, break out that gunsmithing kit and sharpen your knives. I promise, you won't regret it. Now, on to the main story. Ewing is a village in Holt County, Nebraska that's nothing really to write home about, but has a moderately active hunter community for its diminutive size of 387 people. The local vigil includes a few of my brothers and sisters in the network and some folks I'm going to call the evangelists. Not their real name, obviously, but I'm not in the habit of handing those out. These folks take a religious bent on hunting. They're Christians who seem to think the end times are coming and killing monsters is what's going to bring back the Lord and Savior. They're not so fond of certain hunters, particularly the LGBT kind, but I will say this. Mysterious disappearances and obvious police cover-ups have been declining since they kicked their operation into gear. In short, it looks like they're fighting the good fight. Mostly. But that's not the big story. The big story is that for a while, and let me emphasize here to Big Brother that the independent triple encrypted LAN servers have long been stripped out, no digital signatures left behind, the little hamlet of Ewing was a testing ground for the incredibly famous Hellview 2.5 update. Hooray! I tell you folks, Hellview is one of my favorite apps to come out of the online community. You need to know if a building is owned by a vampire servant? Boom! There's an app for that. You need to know if werewolves are crawling around your favorite park? Boom! There's an app for that too. And now, controversially, you want to know where it's safe to get a cup of coffee tonight because the local hunters are watching? Well, with the 2.5 update, there's an app for that too. Joining me today to talk about it is one of the head coders for the project, the ever-popular Mrs. X.
Hello, it's good to be here.
Wonderful to have you, Mrs. X. Now, tell me, when you were testing Hellview, how did the local hunters respond to your advances, asking for patrol routes, that sort of thing?
Well, it was definitely controversial. Hunters aren't exactly the most open type out there. Yeah, we had to do a lot of extra work, shall we say.
Indeed. I'm sorry. What would you say to the people who view this app as more dangerous than it is helpful?
Well, we understand that they might not want to disclose things, and that's understandable. Safety is our number one concern. That's why we've made this app. This could save lives. We just want to make people as safe as possible.
Certainly a high priority. Tell me, have you encountered any supernatural interference with your testing?
Luckily, we have not. At least not as of yet. We've prepared for it. We've certainly kept it as a possibility. But we're all hunters who are working on this app. We know how to deal with it.
Good to know. All right. And now for some minor personal questions, just to let it. Promise nothing intense, I promise you. Just like, what would you say is your most important attribute as a hunter that you believe other hunters should emulate?
I guess I can say that. Let me think. I would say, well, I'd say networking. I mean, hunting is a job that you can't do alone. If you do that, you're gonna get eaten or killed or whatever. You need to have a group of people that you trust. And that's one of the reasons that I have worked on this app.
Definitely a good point. Well, that's about all the questions I had for you today. Is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Everyone, Hellview 2.5 coming to an undisclosed Dropbox near you. You know what time it is now? That's right, y'all. It's time for Conspiracy Corner. This is the section of the show where I clue you in on all the latest rumors that have been floating around on the internet. Note, no quality assurance on these stories, but all of them probably have a grain of truth. Daesh, ISIS, that pile of child-murdering dickwads, whatever you want to call them, is rumored to be a front for the recovery of some sort of powerful artifact. I don't know if it's the One Ring or a strip of God's used toilet paper, but those folks do seem nasty enough to be running on something foul from the world's darker places. So to all my hunter brothers and sisters dealing with that sack of shit, Ta'akad min anturbik iak neak mafwatan. I apologize for my terrible translation. On to South Africa, where there are more and more reports coming out of some sort of incredibly powerful supernatural creatures devastating local hunter cells. Details are sketchy, but it seems like whatever it is has some kind of conventional support network. I've seen a lot of videos of South African hunters getting attacked by gangs of late. Meanwhile, rumors circulate that Brexit was actually a front to hide some kind of supernatural superweapon that the UK has locked away. Bets are being placed on what it might be, but personally, my money is on Mecca, Scotland. Once again, it's time to hammer it in, folks. Someone is capturing and running experiments on both supernatural creatures and humans. I have it on extremely good fact-checked authority that these tests are going down, and not just courtesy of your local "there's a rational explanation" hobbyist lab coats. I'm talking people with serious money and resources and a hell of a lot less of a reason to make their information public. Watch yourselves out there. You do not want to get caught. Next up, Donald Trump is possessed. No shit. And of course, as is tradition, Elvis is an immortal sorcerer that faked his own death, and the end is nigh. That about wraps up our show for you tonight. To all our hard-working monster hunting listeners out there, good luck and good hunting. And to all our less savory listeners in the black helicopters and the coffins, yeah, we know you're out there. Smile, the whole world's watching. This has been Three Dog. And you have wasted a perfectly good slot of time listening to Galaxy News Radio. Still bringing you the truth, no matter how bad it hurts. Galaxy News Radio is once again brought to you by Network Zero. Network Zero, the secret frequency.